Hi you guys, my name is Cyangor and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you can tell by the title, I'm doing Bookmas and I am so freaking excited. How this is going to work is I'm going to be posting a video every other day in the month of December leading up until Christmas. Some of them are obviously going to be reading vlogs like I normally do. Some of them are going to be more sit down videos where I just chat about certain things, most of the time book related. So that's what we're doing, and some of my reading vlogs are actually going to be thanks to my husband because he actually made me a book advent calendar. To be seen is to be loved. He wrapped up 12 books for me. I have 3 right here. Of course, I'm not going to be able to read 12 books in one video, so I'm going to be spreading it out throughout Bookmas, and we're going to be doing 3 books in each video. I have 11 books because one of them was a pre-order. I guess he didn't realize that, and it won't be here until tomorrow. These are not the first 3. These are the first 2, but whenever he numbered them, he accidentally skipped number 3 and went straight to 4. You know what? Here in the South, we just say bless him and we move on. So the book that comes in the mail is actually going to end up being number 3, but for the sake of like being able to hold up 3 books in this intro and for my thumbnail, you know, I'm gonna need 3 books. So our first book, let's open it. Should I do this blind? Oh, there's tape stuck to the book. Oh, we have Misery by Stephen King. This is going to be my first Stephen King book, so I mean, I don't know. I guess I was gonna say I'm excited, but I'm actually pretty nervous. But let's get into it. Okay, so it has actually been a few days later and I have finally made it 50% of the way through Misery. In this book we are following Paul. Paul is a renowned author. He wrote a very popular series called Misery, and he just released like his last book in the series where he actually ended up killing off Misery, and then by chance he gets in a car accident and is saved by his #1 fan, a crazy woman named Annie, who helps him from this car accident, but in reality she is just holding him hostage and is going to force him to rewrite another Misery book. And I already like knew that premise before even going into this book. I've heard people talk about it before. A lot of people that I follow have used this book as like their first introduction to Stephen King, so I was pretty excited but then nervous at the same time. I thought it was going to be really fun. The premise sounded good, but where I'm at the 50% mark right now, it just feels like it's moving along pretty slowly. We're inside of our main character Paul's head for like the whole thing, and he will start talking about something and it's almost like he's rambling, and then he goes off on a tangent and will just randomly talk about something else. I don't know if that's done in all of his books, but like for this one, it's kind of driving me insane, and I don't think I like that aspect of it. I also, if I'm being so honest, could care less about the Misery books because you are getting little snippets of him actually writing Misery's story, and also pretty early on you get like a snippet of how he ended Misery's story in the first book. I also feel like I wish it was more gory, which I didn't think I was gonna have that opinion, but the parts that I'm finding interesting are the parts where Misery is torturing this man. I don't know what that says about me, but here we are. Those are my thoughts so far. I think it's okay. It is picking up speed a little bit more now that we're at the 50% mark, so I'm just gonna read it, see what's going on, because I don't recommend doing this, but I did do this myself. You know, do as I say, don't do as I do. But I did look at some reviews already, and literally the ratings are so freaking high for this book. Everyone loves it, so I feel like I just need to push through and see if I end up loving it too. Okay, everyone, I have finally finished Misery by Stephen King, my first Stephen King book, and unfortunately it didn't go the greatest. Here's the thing, I enjoyed the plot, I enjoyed the writing. I feel like he definitely does do a good job at being descriptive with his gory scenes. However, I do wish there's a little bit more of that. And I also think that it was interesting the psychological and physical abuse that our main character Paul was going through. I surprisingly loved Annie as a character, and I saw a review where someone said that she is modeled after cocaine. But if you have seen the TV show Baby Reindeer, and I know this may be rude to say because Baby Reindeer is based off of a true story, the actress that plays our female lead in Baby Reindeer, that is who Annie reminds me of. If you liked Baby Reindeer, I think you would like this book. I love Baby Reindeer. I know, once again, it's based off of a true story, so it's very sad, but her character just literally felt like that, and it's so interesting to see what she does and to also learn about her past because there is like a big revelation of something that happened in her past. And while I did enjoy those things about it, it just felt very dragged on, which is so surprising because it's one of his shorter books for sure. If you have seen his other books, they are bricks. After reading this one, don't have like the want to really read more from Stephen King, and I'm sorry to say that because I know there's like a cult following for him. It's just obviously not my speed. I do love his movies, so I think I'm gonna just stick to the movies and be a movie girl when it comes to Stephen King. And I need to see this movie because I didn't even know there was a movie made after this, but apparently Kathy Bates is Annie. Love her. So if you have the same like reading taste as me, I would say stick to Stephen King movies. But anyways, for this book, I think I'm gonna give it like a 3.5. I rounded up and gave it a 4-star on Goodreads. It was okay, but again, it just felt a little bit too much. So that is this one. But now I'm so excited because we get to open up another little present. I have our day 2 book here, so let's just rip right on into it. Also, if you're wondering, like, I do kind of know what's in these because he asked me to make him a list, but I made him a list with 30 books, so there's a good chance that I don't know what he picked. But we're gonna see. Oh! That's interesting. He picked me out a dark romance. I didn't think he was gonna do that. This is one where I literally just saw someone talk about it on TikTok, so I added it to the list. I have no idea what it's about. I just know it's a dark romance. I mean, that could be fun. So yeah, Insatiable by Leigh Rivers. Ooh, I did read Little Strangers by her, and she's crazy. She's dark and twisted, so maybe I'll like this one as well. Everyone stop what you're doing and pick up this book because I can't put it down. Let me tell you what it's about. In this book, we are following our two characters, Stacy and Cade, and we are getting dual timelines. So we're getting them in the past and them in the present. As it turns out, when they were 15, they first met because Stacy is best friends with his sister. And throughout their whole like teenage years, they kind of acted indifferent towards one another because they have a big friend group. There's 6 of them, and basically everyone is in love with each other, and I love that. But like I said, they act indifferent towards each other, but in reality, they are seeing each other behind everyone's backs. And so in your past timeline, you're literally seeing them fall in love with one another. But we know in the present timeline that something bad happened between them and they broke up, and now they absolutely hate each other. It's been like 2 years, but they find themselves crossing each other's paths once again, and the tension is there because even though they hate each other, it is so clear that this man is obsessed with her. And also it's alluding to the fact that like Stacy did something bad, and he literally has rules where he's like, I will never ever forgive her, but I want this man to forgive her. The dark romance of it is definitely also because they both have secrets that they have kept from each other. I can't really say much because I don't want to ruin it. Like, that's a big huge plot point, but the darkness of it lies in the secrets that they are hiding from one another. I like don't think I've ever really seen in a dark romance something that is a second chance romance, and that's what this this is, and it feels, even though it's dark, like a wholesome romance because you are getting them when they are teenagers and how they fell in love, and the timing of those chapters is immaculate. Like, we'll have the present time and then boom, the next chapter is them in the past, and it just like, it's all meshing so well, and I am having so much fun. And like, I've never felt this way about a dark romance that I've read, although of course with any dark romance, check your trigger warnings, but I'm loving it. I never thought I would say this about a dark romance book, but stop what you're doing, pick this one up because it is on Kindle Unlimited. But I'm going to keep reading now because, like I said, I'm obsessed. I just finished this book and I'm left unsatisfied. Hear me out. It's because this book ends on a cliffhanger. I'm not even kidding you guys right now. If you like dark romances, you'll like this book. If you like second chance romances, you'll like this book. If you like smut in your books, you will like this book. And if anything else, you will like this book because I'm telling you, I loved it. So pick it up and read it. If you don't like it, spare me, okay? I just already feel such a connection to these characters, and that is so hard for me to feel when it comes to romances, but this one was so freaking good to the point where I'm literally, because it's now 7:50 p.m., I'm about to go shower, get in bed, and cuddle up and read the second book on my Kindle because it's just too good. I immediately want to go into the second one, but I'm not going to like talk about the second one in this video because I feel like that's not the point. We're going to continue with the third book tomorrow, but I'm just obsessed now. This one ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm assuming all three books are going to be about the same couple, but the plot is so thick, you know, that like I'm okay with reading three books that are about one couple. So I'm so excited for it. I think it's a good read. Obviously, if you couldn't tell, it's a 5-star, and this was such a pleasant surprise. Like, I was not expecting to love this as much as I did, but I need to literally go and buy the rest of the series immediately. So check it out. But I have plans for the night, as you just heard, so I'm gonna get to it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for our third book. All right, we have our third book for today. I actually am pretty excited because since this was a pre-order, that obviously means that it's a new release, and I'm trying to think of new releases recently and none come to mind, so I don't know what this could be. Feels, it's either thick or that's a hardcover. Yep, that's a hardcover. So let's just go ahead and see what it is. Oh, okay. Yeah, I completely forgot about this series if I'm being honest, but it is a series that I want to continue. It's The Crowns of Nyasia. The first two were about one couple, and I think she's gonna keep doing like duets within the series. So this is gonna be about another couple. I'm gonna be so real with you though. I kind of forgot what happened in the first two books because I did read those a while ago. So hopefully this one like does a good job at in the beginning kind of refreshing my memory. We will have to see. I know nothing about it. I love vampire fantasy romances, so it should be good, right? So here's the thing, it's been like a week and I am finally a little bit over 50% of the way through The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. And honestly, it's no fault to the book because when I read it, like, it's not boring or anything like that. The thing is that there are just other books I want to read. Side note, I did read the second book that came after Insatiable already, and I am like over 50% of the way through my reread of Zodiac Academy #3. So the thing is there are just other books that I'm enjoying more than this one. This one is not bad. I did kind of forget who our character was from the other books and like what happened in that one. We are following Mish, and basically she is a girl that was turned by a vampire, and she murders the vampire that turned her because he turned her without her consent, which is not cool. So she kills him, but as it turns out, he was a prince. So she is being held prisoner, and this is all like within the first few pages. She's being held prisoner by the princess and the king, and they want to kill her, right? But then in steps the king's bastard son, who is the ruler of like this prison, and he says, hold up a minute, I could use her. She is spared, but she's going to be helping him because, as it turns out, he practices necromancy and he wants to bring back to life the god of death. But while they're on their mission to resurrect the god of death, they are going to have to face trials, and they're like these deadly beasts, and there's a lot of people like being brought back to life and like ghosts and stuff. And you know what? That sounds like such an interesting premise, but I knew Mish in the other books, and her and Rain's relationship was such a lovely, like, brother and sister relationship, and I really liked her in that book. Like, she was such a sunshiny character, but in this one she is just so different. And like, to be fair, she's doing something very stressful and has a lot of trauma, but like, I miss who she was and who I knew her to be in that other book. So I think that's why I'm not necessarily vibing with it. At the same time, like, all of these trials that they're going through, it's kind of dragging out and feeling a little repetitive, which is crazy because like they're different trials, but it feels like I'm rereading similar things over and over again. So I'm not loving it, but I am on a mission to finish it up. Hopefully today or tomorrow. I've just been sitting on it too long, but if I'm being so honest, in my brain it's telling me I need to finish this book up for this video, but my heart is still stuck with Leigh Rivers and that series. I love it so much. I don't even remember what the series is called. The first book is Insatiable. That, my heart is with that. But I'm not gonna keep bringing it up, okay? This is all about this beauty right here, so let's keep reading. It's been like another week, but I finally did finish The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. I'm gonna be Oh my goodness, there's something in my eyeball. Okay, that was very rude. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. I probably should have DNF'd this one because I was being a little bit optimistic since I loved the first two in the series when I said that they were just other contributing factors to the reason why I was rating this so slow, and I said that it wasn't the book's fault. I might have spoken too soon. I think it's the book's fault. So in this one, the reason why I didn't like it is, I think I already mentioned this, but it just went on so slow. Like, yes, there was a lot of chaotic, intense moments, but when there weren't, it was just so slow. All of the trials felt very similar, and it just made it so boring, and it made everything drag on. I also didn't care too much for the romance. Both of our characters were very bland, and I did like that Mish, I liked that she was more of a softer character, you know, we don't always need like a hard badass in a fantasy, but I do just prefer that type of character. She wasn't the same as I knew her. She was a completely different person. I don't know if this is correct in saying this because I read the other two so long ago, but in some way, this didn't feel like the same author wrote these books. Like, this one just felt so different from the other two and what I can remember from those. And I also just didn't really feel their connection. So unfortunately, this, I mean, I'm gonna say it's like a 2.5 for me. I just really didn't have a good time. Yes, Misha's story was very interesting and like the background of things that have happened to her in her past. I liked Azar individually too. He had like a softer side. I didn't like them together. It's not that I didn't like them. Sorry, I'm still getting over my sickness and my nose just did that thing where it kind of burned for a second. It's not that I didn't like them together. It's just that it was meh, and I didn't really feel that strong connection between the two of them. And so yeah, it was a big disappointment, and I feel so bad saying that, but it is what it is. Maybe the other ones afterwards will be better, but like, this one was such a big letdown. I'm so sorry to say that. Those are the 3 books that we read for this video. Let's run through them. I got through Misery by Stephen King. This one was like, what did I say? A 3.5. And then of course Insatiable. This is the Edge of Darkness trilogy. I'm actually still reading the 3rd one in this trilogy, Chef's Kiss. If you take anything from this video, it's to pick this book up. And then we have this, which unfortunately was a 2.5. Probably should have been a DNF if we're being realistic, but those are the 3 books that we read. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know how long it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be shorter because I'm not reading as many books in these, but I still had a good time. Thank you again to my husband for making me this wonderful book advent calendar. These were day 1 through 3. I'm excited to see what we get next. With all that being said, I hope you all have a great reading week, and I hope you have a great week in general, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.